Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Biblical Bees. And today we are back with our new series called Let's Be Honest. Because literally, let's be honest about the things that we're going through. Let's be honest about the things that, we're struggling with. And that is my whole purpose for this series. I just want to be able to, be honest with you guys about some things that I've went through. There may be a girl, a guy, man, woman, whatever out there that has went through the same things that I've went through, and maybe they don't know how to uh, work through it, or maybe they don't know how to navigate through it and get through it, and just be able to, you know, overcome all the different challenges that they've went through, or maybe they feel like they're alone and no one else has went through it. And trust me when I say this, everyone has at least went through one type of struggle that's similar, whether that is fornication, whether that is depression, literally whatever you can think of. And yeah, so I'm not sure how long this series will be. I guess it just depends on what I talk about. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy this series. I hope that you guys enjoyed the last series. I had so much fun and interest in doing the Walking with Action series in the book of James. So I hope that you guys enjoy this series. And are able to relate with me on some of these things, which I'm sure most of you guys will be able to. But yeah, so before we get into it, I'm going to do our shout out portion of this video, and that is going to go to the people that is in Mexico. Shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for listening, tuning in, supporting the Biblical Bees podcast. And yeah, we're just going to hop right into it. So go back to my page with my notes on it. But yeah, so let's be honest. You know, as Christians, we all go through something. We all go through different challenges, different struggles. We do. There's not one person that hasn't. And if you haven't, then you are a soldier, literally. But yeah, there's many things that we go through, whether that's depression, anger, loneliness, fornication, unforgiveness. I mean, you name it. And something that I've struggled with, that most people at some point struggle with is depression. So that's kind of what this episode is going to be about. Is just those who have struggled with depression. And, I've struggled with that, before I got saved and even after. So let's just jump right into it. So when I first kind of went through my phase, I guess, of being depressed, like I said, it mainly started before I got saved. But it still played a big role even after I got saved. So one of the first times that I really experienced depression was in high school. I want to say it was the summer going into my junior year. Um, my parents were going through some things, and one thing kind of led to another, and they ended up getting separated. And I was very hurt. I was very sad in what was taking place. And it brought me to a point where I literally didn't want to be bothered. At the time, my brother was in college, so it was just me and my mom at home. And she's working two jobs, and I'm coming off from school home by myself. She sometimes would get off her first job around 4:30, then would go to right to her next job at 5:30, and wouldn't come home till maybe like 9, 10 o'clock. And by that time I'm in the bed, sleep, getting ready to go to school for the next day. So that definitely brought a lot of depressedness, whatever you want to call that, in my life. Because I was always home by myself. My brother went to college 2 hours away, so he wasn't really coming home like that, um, unless it was Thanksgiving or Christmas break. So, and my grandma, she came over pretty frequently, just to help out with my mom and different things like that. But she was, again, she wasn't there every day. So that was very hard for me because, I'm going to school, coming home, work out at this time. Yeah, at this time I was not working, but I was in track. So by this time, track didn't start yet because this was the beginning of my junior year. So I had no extracurricular activities or anything going on. So I would literally just come home from school and be in my room all day, literally all day. And kind of fast forward a little bit, when things kind of started to piece back together with my parents, I still didn't want to come downstairs. I would literally be in my room so much to the point where my parents would have to force me literally to come downstairs because I didn't want to be bothered. There was a lot of things going on, and I honestly just wanted to be by myself. I really did. And it's crazy because every time I think about this, my junior year of high school was by far one of the best years of my life in school, but I went through so much at home. Like every time I think about it, it is so crazy to believe. But yeah, I mean, like it was bad. And I want to put it out there. My depression was never bad to the point where like I wanted to hurt myself or anything like that. But I just wanted to isolate myself. I didn't want to be bothered with no one. I mean, like it got so bad to the point where my mom had to take me to counseling. Like it was that bad, like obviously maybe middle school I had, phases of wanting to be in my room, you know how it is when you're fresh a fresh teenager, you don't really want to be bothered, stuff like that. I had my moments, but I mean it was rough. So we went to counseling and I rarely want to talk to the lady. And I am the type of person that holds in my emotions, and then when I'm at a really low place, it just comes out. And I mean, there were nights where I would cry myself to sleep because I was so hurt, so upset. I mean, like it was it was so bad. Um, it was so bad, when I look back at it now, because I mean, and it's crazy because, we would go to family functions and outings and different things like that. And I still, like, people would not be able to tell. There's a lot of people in my family that probably didn't know that I went through depression so bad because outside of my house, you couldn't tell. Like I said, at school, like literally, I had so much fun my junior year. People at school wouldn't even have noticed. I don't even think my closest friends knew how bad it was, and I was on the phone with them a lot because I would always kind of put on this brave face, like, "Oh, I'm fine." You know how most people do. I'm fine, whatever. But then it's like you're in bed at night, whatever the case may be, and you are breaking down, and that's how it was for me. So that was definitely like the first point in my life where it was like, okay, this is bad. You know, um, yeah, it was rough. It was very, 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 very rough. It definitely started to get better. Like, uh, the end of my junior year, like I said, but obviously by this point my parents were kind of back together, so it wasn't as bad. But like that fall time of my junior year, oh man, I mean, it was very bad. And like I said, I wasn't saved at this point. So, my first instinct wasn't, oh, let me pray or anything. No, not at all. Not at all. So I'm just going through it day by day. Um, but yeah, that time was definitely very, very rough for me. And that was maybe like a couple month process of feeling that loneliness and feeling that depression and isolating myself from everyone. Um, but yeah, and so kind of when I got saved, this is crazy to think, but literally I was in a 2-year relationship. It started like the end of my junior year. Like I want to say I started talking to this guy April, I want to say. Um, but things didn't really start to get serious till like August maybe. Um, but yeah, we were together my whole senior year of high school, and then majority of my freshman year of college. We broke up like the second week of January, I want to say, like when we were going, I want to say it was like the weekend going back to spring semester. And that was around the time that I got saved. Literally the day before, no, the day after I gave my life to Christ, we broke up. Now, mind you, This was one of the longest relationships I ever had, one of the most serious relationships I had. I mean, I don't think I've ever been so happy in a relationship before I've been with this person. I've talked to people, things like that, but I mean, this person, we were locked in. Like, I honestly could say that I thought I was going to marry this person. Um and so, kind of back to what I was saying, the day after I got saved, we broke up. Um, there was a lot of things going on in the relationship, a lot of arguments, disagreements, me just feeling like I was pouring so much into this person and really wasn't getting a lot back, and a lot of it was frustrating. But I really, really, really liked this person, so I wanted to make it work. And then, he kind of was just like, yeah, like, eh, you know. So that was rough. Oh man, that was rough. Starting off my walk with God freshly out of a relationship was rough. And the crazy thing about it is, you know, my parents, obviously my friends knew, but like my parents, my brother, like no one knew me and this person was not together anymore because one, let me put it out there. When I'm in relationships, I do not disclose information. I don't. Unless something is life or death or I'm getting married, I just don't disclose any information. There's no need. I kind of just always been like that, but I never, like I said, I never told no one I wasn't dating him anymore. I think my mom found out. I think school might have been over. I think she might have just like randomly asked about him, and I kind of was just like, yeah, we're not together no more. But this semester was so bad. I mean, I think I had like 3 C's that spring semester. Like I would be up all night, like literally crying. Like it was, guys, it was so bad. I honestly feel like this time was worse than the other time because like it was that bad. Um I can't even put it into words. Like it was bad. Like I would try to text this person like, "Oh, like are you sure like you don't want to make it work? Like is there something that I can do? Like I'm sorry." Like I mean, it was bad. It was very bad. Like I was so hurt and so lost because I'm trying to, grow in my walk with God, but I'm also trying to recoup and figure out what just happened. Like my this 2 year relationship just ended. How am I supposed to get through this? What am I supposed to do? So I'm literally like trying to figure all these things out, mind you, by myself. Obviously, like I said, my friends knew what was going on. My closest friends knew what was going on. But, my parents, the people that are saved, I didn't bring it to them. So I had no one to really help me with it, help me deal with it or get through it or anything like that. Yeah, so yeah, it was very hard. Like I said, it was hard navigating it because I was literally doing it alone. Um, but yeah, let's go to the scripture really quickly. Let's go to Psalms, and we're gonna go to. Why is my phone glitching? We're gonna go to Psalms. Click. Oh my gosh. We're gonna go to Psalms 34, and then we're gonna look at verses 17 and 18. And it says, "The Lord hears His people when they call to Him for help. He rescues them from all their troubles. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He rescues those whose spirits are crushed." And I feel like during the time that I was trying to navigate my walk with God and figure out this relationship mess, this is something that I needed to hear. I needed to hear that God was going to hear me if I just called on him, and that he was going to rescue me and be with me and be close to me. This is what I was missing. And so when I got back to school spring semester, I found a church. I found a church called H2O at the college that I was going to. And I was able to find an amazing community, and I was able to get plugged in with the Bible study on Thursdays and the church on Sunday and all that good stuff. And when I tell you guys, a switch was like bam. Like, I'm not gonna say it was a quick fix, no, but it allowed me to find joy in being with people, and not always wanting to be alone and having people to be able to share my stories with. Because at Bible studies, certain things that we would talk about, I would kind of express, things that I went through, and it just kind of gave me a sigh of relief. Like, okay, I have people listening to me, I have people comforting me, and it truly brought me so much joy. Being around these people got my mind off of that. Being with these people allowed me to not be by myself, not feel isolated, not want to be, just in my room all day. And I mean, I had so much fun with these people. I was able to be myself around these people. I was just able to just have fun, be a college student, have fun, but also be with a community that was rooted and that was following God, made it 10 times better. Like, I mean, it literally made it, I'm not going to say 100% made it easier for me, because I still have my moments, where I was still upset about this relationship and trying to figure out what I can do and how can I fix it and all those things. But it definitely was a starting point that I definitely needed, trying to navigate through all of these. So I just want to read a couple scriptures that I have to be able to help some of you guys that may be going through this or maybe struggling, or not know where to go and not know where to start, and just, all those things. So let's go to Isaiah, chapter 41, verse 10. And it says, "Don't be afraid, for I am with you. Don't be discouraged, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will hold you up with my victorious right hand." Excuse me. We need to remember that God is always with us, no matter what. And He will give us the strength to get through everything. So if you're going through a phase in your life where you're feeling lonely, isolated, depressed, call on the Lord. He will give you the strength that you need to get up, go out and make friends, go out and surround yourself with people and not want to feel so isolated all the time. And His strength will allow you to get through. I'm not going to say it's going to be an easy process, but His strength will allow you to get through the feeling of loneliness, or the feeling of depression, or the feeling of, I don't want to go nowhere, I'm just going to stay in my bed all day. His strength will help you get through that, but we need to call on Him. We need to call on Him. Like it says in the scripture, don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged. With the strength of God, we can do whatever we set our mind to. So never forget that. Never forget that. And honestly, these scriptures that I'm sharing with you guys, I honestly wish I would have looked at these myself, because it probably would have helped me in the long run. But, I'm happy that I had a community of people that were able to pour into me, and it did help. But let's go to Matthew, chapter 11, verses 28. And that says, "Then Jesus said, 'Come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest.'" Whatever you may be going through that may be causing you to want to isolate yourself and, have that sense of loneliness, God will give us rest through that when we give it to Him. And this just assures us that, we can come to God with anything that we're struggling with, anything that we're going through, anything, and He will give us rest and take that heavy burden off of our shoulders, so that we don't have to go through it alone. We don't have to go through it by ourselves, but we can go through it with Him. And again, I wish I would have known this scripture 2 years ago, but things happen for a reason. And again, me giving you this now can help you, those on the opposite side of the screen listening. It can help you guys get through this and know that God will help you guys in whatever season it is that you may be in. So just kind of, if you're someone that's struggling with this, meditate on those two scriptures. Meditate on those scriptures and see what you can do to invite God into the season of depression that you may in, and ask God to free you and to deliver you from that, because you don't want to allow that depression or that loneliness to take over your mind, your thoughts, and make you think that you are depressed, or make you think that you are lonely and that you don't have anyone. And whatever you are going through, you can bring it to God through prayer. Pray to God, tell him what's going on, and he will hear you. And prioritizing my relationship with God during that season, being with that community, being plugged into church and Bible studies, it brought, like I said, it brought joy to me that the world could not have given me. It brought me joy and peace, literally, that I cannot find nowhere but through Christ himself. So finding a community, support system, church group, whatever it may be, can help you relieve some of that frustration and stress, and can help provide comfort in what you're going through. Because like I did, don't go through it alone. Whether it's just you and Jesus, don't go through it alone. Invite him into your life. Invite him into the season that you may be in. And don't go through it alone. I promise you, it's going to make a world of a difference, because if I was able to go back and redo it, I would definitely have invited Jesus into that season with me to help me get through that. So if you're someone that's struggling, call on God. If you have friends, if you have a community, invite them into your life as well so they can help you. You know, everyone may not go through, a phase of depression or feeling lonely, but they can be there to comfort you and to allow you to have a space where you feel comfortable and you're able to be vulnerable with them and tell them what's going on. So I hope that my story has been um, encouraging to you and can kind of help you on how you may be able to guide yourself in doing that, um, to get out that season, because God does not want you to be stuck in a season of isolation. That's not what he calls us. He calls us to be free from all things. And isolation, depression, loneliness is definitely one of those things that he can free and deliver you from if you invite him into it. So don't do it alone. Invite God and pray on it. Pray about it. Bring it to God so he can relieve that off of your shoulders and take those burdens off of you. So, like I said, I hope that my story is at least a step, what do you call it? Not a stepstone, but like that first part to inviting him, into your life and what's going on. But that is all I have for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed that, and I hope that that can help someone that may be going through that. Um, and if you are someone going through that, reach out. I would love to connect and be able to, help others on a more intimate and vulnerable level. My email is always in the description. So reach out if you're someone that's struggling with that, and I would love to have a conversation. But yeah, that is all I have for today. Um, thank you guys for being with me on this first episode of the Let's Be Honest um series. I hope you guys enjoying it so far. So before we get out of here, we're going to do our last shout out portion of this video. And that shout out is going to be from our Biblical Bees Instagram page. And that goes to Trent Calhoun. Thank you so much, Trent, for following the Instagram, supporting, tuning in, listening, all that good stuff. So I thank you all for listening and being here. And I hope you guys are excited for the episodes to come for this series. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.